The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, David White.
And welcome to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour. And as always, we come together at the appointed time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So we're off 21 points on the S&P cash. Dow's down 64. NASDAQ's down 88. The Russell's up 3.5. Crude oil's down $2. But I don't think there's a lot going on. After the bell, we're supposed to hear the president talk about taxing oil companies. I think that goes in one ear and out the other. Even at the minimum level of wins in the House, if you take the worst case from the opposing party, they're going to have more seats in the House than they had back to 1920. And if you missed your civics classes, all spending bills have to start in the House. So if you're going to tax somebody or spend something, it has to start there. And I don't think there's a big appetite to try to drive crude prices any higher than they can. But a little bit of red meat, I don't know if it's actually going to have any lasting effect other than maybe a day or two and everybody will forget about it. Of course, we're 8 days away from the next election, and the markets tend to really like divided and really just gridlocked Washington, mostly because they can plan on what's going on now without any changes. And, changing the rules of the game. So they kind of like that. It's better than the opposite for the most times. I don't think there's a whole lot to write up that we don't know. Could there, if there's, I don't think anybody's talking about some kind of majority in the Senate that's enough to override a filibuster, although they may come close. And I think that would be, I don't even think that it's mathematically possible. I don't think it is. So we'll just have to sit and watch what's going on here. But I think a whole lot of nothing. I'm thinking that before the end of the day, we're probably going to see a few more buyers come in. A lot of people were heavily shorting this morning and this afternoon. And probably if they can't get this thing really moving, we're probably going to see those folks cover. I had kind of assumed that maybe we close flat on the day. Options point to an incredible amount of resistance at just over 3,900 in the S&P cash. So I don't think much is going to happen on that. Of course, tomorrow we start looking at more or lighter volume, significantly lighter volume, let me put it that way. And today, we're down about 1.3 or 1.4 billion shares compared to Friday on the CBOE consolidated volume. If you want to follow along as a home gamer, you can email me at path@tfnn.com, and I'll be glad to email you a link to the CBOE volume. But it's the one I like. It's all split up in 100 different ways. But normally on the radio, I just, or on the podcast, I'm not exactly sure what we are. Radio, podcast, something or other. Anyway, it's what I quote, kind of the easiest number to put together. But 6.6 billion shares is not a big volume day, so you could look at as a lower day on a lighter volume. Again, I don't think it matters a lot. It's all going to be what the Fed says on Wednesday, with a little bit of earnings after the bell tomorrow night thrown in with AMD and some of the others. 877-927-6648. And let's see, what else do we have? That's kind of it. Got a lot of people asking questions already. Let's do a little history, and then we'll move on to some charts.
Then it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
It is history repeating, and on this day in 2000, Russia launches the Soyuz TM-31, carrying the first crew to the International Space Station, the ISS. It's been continuously manned since the first mission, and even into the invasion of the Ukraine by Russia, still manned. So I don't know what you can say about that. But, yeah, for 22 years, we've had somebody off the planet, about 250 miles to 325 miles, depending on how they have it set up, above us in continuous orbit. Email me at path@tfnn.com. And yeah, I don't see a lot of juice here. I do think that a lot of people are going to want to get out of the way before the Fed. So maybe I'm a little bit optimistic for today and thinking that the selling will actually come in tomorrow. But maybe that's enough to make everybody start thinking about selling today instead of later. What else do we have? That's kind of it. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. Let's bring up. Come on. There we go. Of course, the big move on Friday and the probably the easiest move was everybody getting behind Apple for Wall Street. As we've said, end of October, about 80% of folks on Wall Street closed their books for the bonuses. So everybody, if they've got any cash, tends to put it to work, even if it's only for a handful of days. And, you can't really say, since their bonus is based on what they do, that they wouldn't do it. I mean, these guys are not Mother Teresa. They're not out trying to do goodwill. They're trying to make money for themselves and if their company, if at all possible. But don't think much in the way changes there. And, of course, when the books close today at 4 o'clock, they will know what they have. About the other 20% of people on Wall Street closed their books on the last trading day of November. But almost all of them for yearly budget bonuses do have this period of time where they get the review. And, hard to say that doing the right thing and doing something so your paycheck is bigger. You have to think about these guys that work on Wall Street, because two of the scenarios out of the three lend themselves to finding another job. Either they've done poorly, or they just eked out and went flat. Unless they make a lot of money, only chance that you have of keeping your job. The other two ain't going to lose it anyway. So might as well roll the dice. And they do. We'll be back in a minute.
Currencies, commodities, and bond markets are as important as ever right now with how they're driving the volatility in equity markets across the globe, which is why it's a great time to try out Teddy Kegstad's Tiger Forex Report. Teddy Kegstad breaks down the Forex markets every Monday using his 30-plus years of experience as a trading veteran of futures, Forex, stocks, and options. Teddy releases his weekly Tiger Forex Report every Monday morning with coverage of all the major currency pairs, including the dollar index, the euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss, dollar yen, as well as many more, and he also has weekly coverage of the crude oil market and the 30-year T-bonds, as they both influence Forex markets tremendously. When you sign up for the Tiger Forex Report, you also gain instant access to Teddy's 60-minute webinar archive he just hosted, Forex Strategies and Fundamentals, What is Behind the Tiger Forex Report. For all the details and to start your 30-day Tiger Forex Report subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you grinding in the market, but seeing little to no return? Or are you a successful trader, simply looking to make your job a little easier? Learn to take the path of least resistance with David White's powerful trading newsletter. David White is an accomplished trader whose deep understanding of technology and the markets allows him to consistently find and share winning trades. Support and resistance define the ranges in which stocks trade. By understanding these trading ranges, David White is able to find the path of least resistance. David White's trading newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, is delivered daily before the markets open to make every trading day an easy win. Visit TFNN.com today and subscribe to David White's Ultimate Trading Newsletter for $119 a month. And try all of our newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Take the path of least resistance at TFNN, educating investors. Are you looking for a way to consistently add winning trades to your portfolio? Tom O'Brien is here to help. Tom O'Brien has been successfully trading markets for over 30 years. A frequent contributor to TD Ameritrade Network and CNBC, Tom O'Brien founded TFNN over 20 years ago to help educate investors just like you. Tom's daily market newsletter, Market Insights, is published every morning when the markets open to give you the competitive informational edge you need to succeed. These newsletters are packed full of Tom's advanced technical analysis and are geared to deliver comprehensive strategies for a successful portfolio. Get Tom O'Brien's newsletter, Market Insights, today and try all of our products and newsletters 30 days risk-free with our money-back guarantee at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And as we come back on semiconductor, had earnings out this morning. Opened up okay, kind of slid with the market. Not a lot of movement out here. Again, the thing you've got to worry about is that China decides to invade. China decides to invade Taiwan, and so if I'm going to play any of these, it's certainly going to be probably with options. So I have a limited risk. There's some other things that could go on. You never know in a market, even a bear market, peace could suddenly break out in between Russia and Ukraine as Russia was trying to run out of money. There's other things that can happen that are good. Same thing in China. But the downside would be devastating. It would be kind of right after 9/11 when everybody woke up and it was a rolling auction for 3 straight days lower till I think the airlines, they lose like 80% of their value in 3 or 4 days after the markets did open up after 9/11. So, it's one of those things. No one predicted 9/11. I think you can look at China wanting to invade Taiwan. Everybody kind of knows that that's out there. I just wouldn't want to be, I don't mind being long it. I just want to be able to have a defined risk before I go in on it. So, it's at least one of the things you kind of know about. I'm sure the market would be absolutely sacked too. But could you lose 50 or 70 points or 100 points in the SMHs in a day? Without Taiwan Semiconductor, you basically are taking the world back to the Stone Age, probably for 2 or 3 years. It would take that long to recover. So that's the downside for China. They could have 200 or 300 million unemployed as no one buys anything. So there's trade-offs. Maybe they're just going to try to jawbone their way in, which is much more likely. But you never know. I don't know a lot of people or can't really trust a lot of the media for news on a variety of things, like Russia and Ukraine. I have no idea what I should believe. Same thing with China. Kind of hard to know exactly in the press when they would rather climb a tree and tell a lie than stand on the ground and tell the truth. Even this weekend, I saw something that I knew instantly didn't add up, but they're trying to continue to gaslight everybody. So I'm going to try to stay away from news as much as I can and just try to trade the charts. But you do know that it's out there, so I'd be worried. 877-927-6648. Email me at path@tfnn.com and see if I can get my charts up here. Come on. There we go. Okay, got a couple of emails already. At what level would I buy call options on UVXY? Well, it's miserably bad to try to buy these up in front of the Fed. There's going to be a lot of premium, and that premium is going to come out faster than a birthday balloon that you didn't get the knot tied quickly enough on. So it's going to go around for about a second or two, and then that will be it. So I'm not a big fan of trying to get in front of a move by the Fed. Everybody and their dog's going to know it. Generally right after the announcement or by 3:30, a lot of the weekly options premiums are going to get sucked out very quickly. And that's a much better place, I think, to take a look at what you want to do than trying to bet the way that the market's going to act, because we all know that 30 or 50 points higher and lower within the matter of 10 minutes is not uncommon on these Fed days. And, of course, the people that own options know that, too. The premiums are going to be high. So I don't think that there's a lot of reasons to do it until we see the whites of their eyes, which means probably when Jay Powell's done talking at 3:15 on Wednesday. So that would just be me. I don't think you probably have a significant edge. Is the UNG finally made a low from Gary U.S. bonds? You got a nice gap higher here today. You've got a low that was tested on half the volume, almost half the volume, and you're back into the trading range. You've got pretty much actually everything that you wanted to have, and unfortunately, I didn't get. I was almost there on Friday. I wanted just about another quarter, maybe 15 cents higher to get back in on this, because it was a fairly nice setup. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days under the 3x3, a couple days under it, 1 day underneath it, and then boom. So, yeah, it looks good. The downside is you have a lot of resistance at $21.50. My guess is that you're probably going to see a couple of days of this go sideways. I would probably, unless I see the weather report really closing in on the northern states, I'd probably sit on my hands for a day and see if this holds up. But looks good. I would have liked to seen more volume, which is what we don't have today. The volume's okay. It's just not great, but a nice bounce back into the trading range. A lot of resistance at 21.50. There are other stocks that I think could do much better after we get through the Fed and the Fed announcements. Okay. And see. Okay, let's go on to some other stuff here. Okay, got that. We talked about that. Okay. After the bell tomorrow night, AMD, of course, they've already pre-announced. So there's not a lot of surprises. I don't think much has changed in a week. The downside of playing here is that you have a 2-gap play that's probably going to turn into a 3-gap play. And I would not be surprised to see this third gap come back in and retest the low of 54.57, which is that October 13th low. Yeah, I would, if you are able to retest that low on lighter volume, that may be it for a while on the lows for AMD. We'll be back in a minute.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, so we're just kind of playing around. Like I said, down about 20 points. Could we close down 10 or something? It wouldn't be beyond the character of them trying to hold quarterly returns up. It's not going to make a big difference between them or to them for now, but I don't think we're closing very much lower. Tomorrow, I suspect, though, that they'll start trying to get out of anything they think that may go south on Jay Powell's testimony, or anything that they think is iffy at all. The spiders. No spiders here. Just don't go as SpongeBob SquarePants because they'll know you're a square. Okay. What else do we have here? We want to look at some of these others. Okay, did I get everything? We looked at UNG. I need to look at the weather during the next break and see what we're looking for in the next couple of weeks. I think we already looked at Apple, but my guess is they're going to push it up to 155, and that'll be enough to get us up to 3,900 at the close. They're starting to kind of chip away at that right now, and really probably half the market pop on Friday was Apple, and we're probably going to see kind of the same thing. All they have to do is bring it up a little bit, some shorts will cover, and you'll get back into 155, maybe 156. That'll be enough. Now tomorrow, it's going to be an all-new ball game with Apollo Hair Bond. That ad, I heard it probably 1,000 times growing up. And now, every time I hear that it's a whole new ball game, I've got to go with Apollo Hair Bond. That and the other ad that I grew up watching or listening to because it ran incessantly was it's the Lone Ranger financing innocent victims of bankruptcy and repossession. Now, of course, they're all the ads today are all personal injury attorneys here. But they don't have the same kind of zing as that. But, man, you get one of those in your head. It's like asking somebody not to complete the Winston tastes good like you almost have to say it, don't you? You've heard it so many times. It's been beaten into you. You've got to say it. I never smoked. But that is just it. Okay, so other things going on here. Do we want to look at? Okay. Question about Workday, which we'll go to. Okay, we'll get to. Okay. Yes, on AMD, I 80% chance you're going to get one more gap lower. But that would say that's the end of the move, and that you could go fill those three gaps higher. So that's what I'd say. But again, I'd probably want to be buying calls at the deepest and most horrible belief that there's no future for AMD, which could come on earnings if it's even worse. Workday's just kind of back up to resistance. There's not a lot of juice today. You've got a gap of about 167.50. My guess is that's where you're going to go up about halfway in there. There's not a lot of juice, but you could get to about 167.50, and that'd fill the gap about halfway. My guess is that's probably where you're going to tag if we get any higher in the markets. Okay, let's see what else we have. Okay. ZROZ. ZROZ. Okay. This is the same pattern that we've been talking about a long time, the Joe DiNapoli double repo pattern. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 days under the 3x3 displaced moving average. You now have 4 above it. What you want to see is a close back below it and then buy the next move higher. If it goes back above that line, which is about 84, then you're probably looking at this thing making a major return. Is there that much in it? 91? I mean, a little bit. But that would be kind of the bounce out here. Don't think I would want to be on the south side of this. But, yeah, you could get to 91, which would still just be a bounce and a downtrend. But the setup here is actually to have a fairly decent bounce to 91. So, medium term hold, I don't know. 85 to 91, I don't think that's medium term. But I think you could get a bounce out of it. But, that's, can you get another pattern? You can. But the pattern I like the best would be a close back under the 3x3. If you don't have that, you can use a standard 9-day moving. Come on. A simple 9-day. A simple 9-day moving average on it, and you'd be the same. You just want to close underneath it, which is not much, buck and a half. And of course, you've got support right there too on this double gap up, and that's about 81. Let's call it 81.40ish. That's where you'd really love to see that thing hit, have no volume, and then the next move. And again, this one's not a big mover, so you may even just have to take the trade right there at 81 if you wanted to really truly be in it. And I think there's probably bigger and better risk returns out there. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's get back to some of these other ones. I was busy reading emails, trying to figure out if I could answer some of these questions. But that's it. Okay. Let's go back to the usual suspects. We haven't looked at them. We've been deep in earnings for a while. NVIDIA is just back up to these big resistance level, which is about 145. So far, not a lot of juice. Same pattern as the TLT. Okay. Yeah, I think maybe you get a bounce, and maybe this is a pullback over the next couple of days, and then you get back up to 145. If you don't get any volume there, then this thing, as I said in AMD, I would really love to see one more slam down to make
Sharpening
a good
your skills as an
long-term
investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
And I had a question, is there anything going on here with Meta? They've doubled down on being stupid. I always loved that guy that came, the general that came out of the Katrina hurricane, who told all the reporters not to get stuck on stupid. And, well, they were hoping that instead of like $10 billion a year that Zuck was going to throw at the metaverse, that maybe he'd cut that down to like just $5 billion to throw it away, mostly because there hasn't been a good product come out of it yet. And of course, him doubling down on that didn't win him any friends. So another good book there, Winning Friends and Influencing People. But you know, there's nothing you can do. You can't toss him out. He's in there unless he wants to quit. I always thought maybe he did. And maybe this is just his way of getting everybody else to say it's okay for him to quit. And he'll let somebody come in and they'll turn off the spigot on spending and stock will pop back up and he'll start selling his shares. As many others, weirder things have happened. But I don't think there's a lot. But anyway, certainly I don't see a whole lot here. And, you know, the problem is if you get into a bad position at this time of the year, it is exceedingly rare that Wall Street will get in and buy big cap stocks like this before the first of the year. The best you can do is try to hold it up until January 1st, when a lot of times people will buy losers over the last year, but mostly because a lot of times these big guys on Wall Street want to be out of stocks that were losers, so it doesn't show up as they owned it. So again, we're getting to the end of it. You know, you just write it off, try to do something better. So maybe see if it bounces tomorrow. See if there's any, that would probably be the first indication that there's a little bit of that. But I don't see anything happening in this probably significantly now to the end of the year. It's generally you're dead, what they like to call dead money on Wall Street. Another question on Twitter. Of course, it got bought out. If I had any real comments about it, the only thing I thought that was interesting about the whole thing was the Washington Post big editorial on why billionaires shouldn't be able to be allowed to buy media companies. And of course, Jeff Bezos of Amazon owns the Washington Post. So other than the massive hypocrisy, I don't know if I have anything to add on the Twitterverse, but you never know. You never know. I don't know if they're going to go to $50. Somebody in the den's posting that, but it doesn't generally do well. If you mess up now and you gap down, and there doesn't seem to be any change, you're the captain of the Titanic. You hear there's a bunch of icebergs ahead, and you say double up, let's add another 5 knots, everybody gets nervous. So generally, if you were thinking about buying this, I would probably say not until the first of the year. 877-927-6648. Oh, got stuff in the trash. ERF. Why does this say? Don't know why. We'll say. Maybe I've got to figure out why this thing went into the trash can. It's not junk. Not junk. Okay. I think this happens upstream because it stuck it in the subject. ERF for short term. Let's take a look. Inter Plus. I mean, I don't like it. I don't know if you're talking about going short or long. I really dislike this pattern. It's one of the ones I've made a lot of money on in the past. And that is, you come down with a lot of volume. You get kind of a big W pattern here. And actually, you could almost say this is a kind of a Gartley pattern. But it actually pulled back too much. So let's get out of that one. But you've got this nice Gartley pattern. So I'm not a big fan of that. Yeah, you've got to really watch it. Any close below this 9-day moving average or a displaced moving average is problematic, and you're closer on the displaced. But this chart actually looks to me like it's going to come back to 1450. So I don't know what's going on with that, but it doesn't look good. You just have no energy from that September 26th low up to this high of October 27th, and a couple of days, even on the big day on Friday, you really didn't do much. I think that tells you a lot more. You're just kind of going sideways, but this thing could easily come back and touch this gap at 14.5. So, I wouldn't be shorting it. I don't short below $30, but I don't see a whole lot of reasons to think about going long on that either. Okay, we got more coming our way here. Another look at the usual suspects for Ron, who wants to have me take a look at Microsoft. Hey, gap down. I don't think there's a whole lot going on here. You're just going sideways. No volume. Probably one of the still better stocks. Okay. Sally wants to look at IBB. What's going on in the big vaccine industrial complex. Let's take a quick look at that. Come on, there we go. And you got a nice pop here. You're back up at what should be resistance. Energy's actually fairly good. I don't see anything backing off in this. You are holding above the previous highs. Volume okay on Friday. I don't know if this actually gets much higher, but you've got a gap right at I'm going to call it 130.150. This is the center of that gap. And you could just drift up into this 134.89, the August 11th high, and just have a big W. But the energy is about the same on the way up and the way down. So not a huge endorsement, but not the worst of all evils either. Earlier when we were talking about zero coupons, you've got same kind of thing set up in the TLT. When we come back, we'll talk this through, but you got a double repo pattern on this, which means that you could get a bit of a retracement, and you did have a nice pop off of 91.84.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we come back looking for maybe just a little bit a short covering to go into the end of the day. Not much, but I'm looking for the market to hold up into the close today fairly much. Could it get to flat? Could. I suspect we're probably going to start seeing money come out of the market tomorrow after the end of the month and buying for Wall Street's bonus. And, of course, mostly just to get out of the way of the Fed on Wednesday. We got a couple of big earnings coming out on tomorrow night, so there may be some nice action on Wednesday morning. We've got BP and that's before tomorrow. After the bell, we've got AMD tomorrow night. Let's see what else we have. Chesapeake Energy after the bell. Celis, Electronic Arts. That was the other one I was thinking of and hadn't got to. I wanted to look at that while I'm thinking about it, because these guys may do or start to do very well as a lot of gamers quit buying new hardware and switch to something more affordable for this Christmas, i.e. maybe a $50 or $100 game. It doesn't look all that exciting. Do have a nice V pattern in here. got back up, filled about half the gap that it had. So kind of nice setup here. Energy's not all that exciting, but I think this is where we're probably going to start seeing the turn from buying lots of hardware for gamers to actually buying games again. I think they've got some new stuff out for Christmas that should be interesting. As always, sell when you can, not when you have to. Hang on for Tom O'Brien. He wraps up the end of TFNN's broadcast day, and we'll see you here tomorrow, bright and shiny.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible